I'm going to show you a few things you can do with the Vinno D6 for echocardiography. Before we get started, let me just show you first on a microconvex probe. Not everybody can go straight in with a phased array probe, and I was really impressed at how good the image quality is for cardiology, even with just a microconvex. So you have all your presets here. You'll notice when I switch to cardiac, it's going to switch my marker onto the other side, as is the convention for cardiology. Gives me a more high contrast image as well, so it's put all the adjustments that I'm going to need for echocardiography. I can put my probe straight on, and even without any image optimization, I'm actually getting a pretty nice image, considering this is not a dedicated cardiac probe. For this size dog, I don't need quite such a large sector width. I can very easily narrow that with the touch screen, and I think that's a really nice picture. You also have an intelligent image optimization button. You can click that and that will just auto adjust your gains for you. And you have all your cardiac measurements, even with just this probe. So if I were to freeze this and hit measure, I've got all my standard septum, LVIDD, free wall measurements, but also I've got more advanced things. If I go into left heart, I can click ejection fraction and I could perform an ejection fraction from here as well, which is actually really simple to use. So if you just pop your first point on one of the mitral hinge points, you can just trace around the endocardium. So it's really nice and easy to use. Let me get the phased array now and we'll show you a few more advanced things. I've switched over to my phased array now, and let me first of all show you the colour Doppler on this machine. This is a weak point of most ultrasound machines under the £50,000 mark. So it's really important that you check this out when you're about to invest in a new machine. So this dog is a fantastic test for colour Doppler because she's pretty much as hard as it gets for an ultrasound machine. So if you can tell anything from the colour Doppler with her, then it's probably a decent ultrasound system. So when I first put my colour flow on, it's all a bit much really. So I'm going to just adjust my region of interest first. Just change my PRF because she has so much going on. I want to filter out some of that noise. So hopefully you can appreciate from this image that there's definitely something going on with the aortic valve here. During diastole, we're getting flow coming back into the left ventricle, so I'll save an image of that. Maybe you can also see that there's something else going on. I mean, you can see that there's a lot going on, certainly in this dog. But if I freeze that image, can you see also we have a jet going this way? So it's primarily red, so it means it's going towards our transducer, and it's blood that's shunting up into the right side of the heart from the left. So we'd be suspicious there that we might have a ventricular septal defect. So I'm very happy with that colour flow so far. It's given me an idea that there's probably something going on around her aortic valve and probably a ventricular septal defect associated with that as well. Going into the short axis, so that's her mitral valve level. Looking at the aortic valve again, and if I put my colour on again, we're getting really nice coding where we want it. If you're quite new to echo, this might just seem like a lot of colour, but if I freeze it just to show you, you can see the colour is nicely coded where we have the aortic regurgitation. So it's alerting us that she has quite central aortic regurgitation there in the middle of her valve leaflets. You can also see that there's something going on here through her outflow tract and her pulmonary valves. There's a lot of turbulence there. So let's check out now the continuous wave Doppler. So I can tell this is going to be high velocity. So if I click on CW, my baseline control is just here, so really easy to find. I can just tap that and bring my baseline up. My scale as well is just here, so easily adjustable. Okay, and I'm happy that I've very likely caught the peak there. I've got a nice clean Doppler trace, late peaking shape, so there's probably some sort of obstruction actually further up in the ventricle. So it's probably some sort of double chambered right ventricle situation rather than valvular pulmonic stenosis. I'll save that, and now let's turn her over and look on the other side at some other things that we can do with this machine.